Great. Thanks, Tracy. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Larissa Garcia. I'm part of the library faculty. I'm the Information Literacy Librarian and the subject specialist for the School of Art and Design, the School of Family and Consumer Sciences, and the Nutrition and Dietetics program in the School of Health Studies. So today I'm going to cover instructor resources, support for students, and give you an update on some of the library services as they currently stand in our situation. And I'm going to start with instructor resources that the library has. And the most important one, I think, is help finding content for your courses. So this is the library's website, and the way to access the NIU online catalog is this first tab on the left, the Books tab. And that'll take you to the search box to our online catalog. And we have thousands and thousands of ebooks available to you and your students. So if you put in a search term, I have German Expressionism here, and then click search, the little magnifying glass icon on the right, that will take you to a results list in the catalog. And you'll notice in the results that if there are electronic books available on that particular topic, or whatever your search was, then that will show up in the results. So I've highlighted that with a green box. It's part of the record. It'll say get it online or electronic book. You can also limit your search in the catalog to only ebook resources, and that's by using the filters on the right side of the results list, which I have highlighted also by that green box under Format. Just a reminder that for all of our electronic resources, you will need to be authenticated with your ZID and password for students, and AID and password for faculty. But if everyone's already logged into Blackboard, then that shouldn't be an issue. So during this time, a lot of educational content companies are opening up their resources and making them more available to everybody, which is wonderful. And one company is ProQuest, and they have the database EBook Central. So with more than 50 publishers, they're providing unlimited access to more books. The only thing is that when trying to find this content, you have to go directly to the EBook Central database, because these new books that are available wouldn't be included in our NIU catalog. So you can go directly to the URL that is posted there, or you could go to the library's website, click on the Article Databases tab, and in that search box, which is the database search box, you can type in EBook Central, and that will bring up the link to the database. In addition to ebooks, we have more than 200 databases to provide access to scholarly articles and journals. So that's that second tab there, the Article Databases tab. We organize our databases by subject or an alphabetical listing. And again, there's that search box there if you know the name of the database you want to search in. The most useful way, oh, absolutely. The PowerPoint I will send out, we'll post that with the recording. Thanks for the question, Julie. So the most useful way to organize, to access the databases is to click on the resources by subject link. That takes you to a new page where we have listed all of our subject guides by discipline. So these are essentially mini websites. They're actually called LibGuides. And this is where librarians have curated all of the content, all of the resources that students and faculty would need to do research for a particular discipline or a particular subject. So this is an example of the English subject guide. All of the subject guides follow pretty much the same template. They'll always have an Article Databases tab, because that's where we want to make sure we're identifying out of the more than 200 databases that we have, the most pertinent databases for that particular subject area. But we also have lots of tabs that are really useful. All of the tabs will have, all of the guides will have web resources tabs that faculty, in addition to librarians, have identified freely available web resources that would be useful for students and faculty to know about. This particular subject guide has reference materials and primary materials, but these might vary. Some of the tabs that I have are citation help. We can always embed tutorials there. And what's really important to know is that for your subject guide, you can always contact your subject specialist and have them create a specific tab, maybe for your class or maybe for a specific research assignment, where they can work with you to post specific resources or identify specific websites or embed specific tutorials that you might find altogether to make it a lot easier for your students to access. So these are very customizable. All of our subject specialist librarians are able to create the content and post that content for the subject guides. So under the article databases tab, if you were to click on one of these links to the databases, it would take you to the database interface. And that's where you can run a search on a specific topic and your results list would show up. But it's important to know how to access the full text of articles. So not all of our articles are 100% full text, or I'm sorry, all of our databases are not 100% full text, but that's why we have sort of workarounds that link all of our resources together. So if you're doing a search in the database and you don't see the full text link underneath the citation, then you will see this SFX and NIU link that's highlighted there by that green arrow. You would click on that, and the first thing it would do is search all of our other resources, so the more than 200 databases that we have and other separate electronic subscriptions, to see if they might find the article in another resource that we have. So for this particular example, when I clicked on the link, the SFX link, it found the full text in actually 2 separate resources that we have. So that means that the first option says full text. It provides that citation information, and then all you have to do is click the red Go button, and that will take you to where the full text of that article is located. So that's what we hope to find. Sometimes, however, when you click on the SFX and NIU link from a database, we won't have access to it. And in that case, you will need to request it through our interlibrary loan services. So we currently have 2 systems for interlibrary loan or information delivery services. The one that you hope to see is that top one, Get It Now. We used to have sort of a more limited number of journals available through Get It Now, but this week we've essentially turned on Get It Now for way more journals, so that we're hoping that the Get It Now button will show up for a lot more journals when everyone clicks on SFX. So that's what you're hoping for. When you click Go, you're just going to enter in your email address and to check the box that says Agree to Services, and then you'll receive your article within 8 hours. Typically, it's like within 2 hours. So you don't need to create an account for Get It Now. You just enter in your email address and you get it very, very quickly. Unfortunately, Get It Now is not available for all journals. So if you don't see the Now button, then you would need to request it through NIU ILLiad. That you do need to create an account. It's really easy. It takes not very long. You already use your AID and password to create an account. And then clicking over from the database, it's really easy to request articles. It does, in the normal state of things, it takes about a week to get your article through NIU ILLiad. And during this time with more limited staffing all over, it might take a few more days. So we're hoping that Get It Now will be more available to everyone. But the SFX and NIU link is really important, and that's why we really recommend not to limit your searches and databases to just full text. There's always a full text link in databases. Don't do that, because we have SFX that at least links up all of our electronic resources, and then would also, if we don't have it, then provide you access to hopefully Get It Now or NIU ILLiad. So in addition to ebooks and our article databases for journal articles. We also have streaming video databases. Our main databases for streaming video are Academic Video Online and Canopy. So for all of the videos that we currently have access to, those will also be cataloged in the NIU catalog. So when you're running a search, those videos would show up. Academic Video Online is another company that has opened up, Canopy has opened up another, more of their content to be available. So when you're searching, but that does mean you need to go separately and search in Canopy, the database, to find videos that you would potentially want to show to your students. It's not 100% available, so when you do search in Canopy, you might find a film and then you'll see a request form, which means that we don't currently have access to that, but you should absolutely submit that form, and we will do our best to accommodate the purchase request for a license for that film. And once we do process that, it happens usually like within 24 hours, we're able to provide access to that film. For Academic Video Online, you'll actually need to go to the storefront. So that link at the top there for alexanderstreet.com. So if you want to look for videos in Academic Video Online beyond what we have available to us already, you can go to that link, identify a film, and then contact your subject specialist with the name of that film and let us know where you found it. And then again, we will do our best to accommodate those purchase requests. We are, and again, it's like flipping a switch, so we're really able to provide access to that content very, very quickly. So those are the two ways to find streaming video. And again, you can access those databases from the Article Databases tab if you type in the name of the database in the search box. We also have several digital collections. These are available from our website as well. So this is our website under collections. And these are great sources for primary materials if you're looking for that type of content to include in your courses. You can take a look at those collections. And we also have the currently the Continuity of Library Services and Resources LibGuide. And this is where we are posting updates on services, but also we have a pretty extensive page for instructor resources there that link over on the right in red. And what we've done here is, in addition to, well, the most important part, I think, is that first link for finding materials for your courses. So this is sort of a call out of that link to show you what's available. The links to Canopy, Academic Video Online, EBook Central. So really this LibGuide would be a great resource for you to bookmark, because that's going to give you direct links to these different databases. And every day it seems like different content providers, educational content providers, are opening up resources. And once we get notification of that, I'm posting those links here on this database. There's also some other resources that librarians across the country are just creating on their own. So there's a link, for example, to a Google Doc that librarians across the country are posting virtual lab resources for the sciences, because often that's sort of the most difficult content to try to do virtually. So there's a spreadsheet with resources to that. And so anytime we're finding out new resources that are available, we're posting it currently on this LibGuide. Also available from this LibGuide is a page on Open Educational Resources, or OERs. And these are teaching and learning materials really in any medium, but mainly available electronically, that are freely available and open to everyone to access. So on this page, just located under the Instructor Resources tab, we have lots of links to different OER resources in a variety of disciplines. So definitely take a look at that and explore some of those options for providing content. We've also expanded our course reserve services, so we are in the process of digitizing items that are currently on print reserve, and because of the circumstances, we are able to digitize more than the 10% that is typically allowed by copyright. But these items, these digital items, will only be available until the end of the semester. So if you currently have something on print reserve in the library, then you can request to have it digitized, or a portion of it digitized. It wouldn't be the whole book, but you can determine the portions or the page range that are going to be pertinent during this time. Send an email to our Reserve Services Department. The email is listed there. Include your name and contact information, the department and course number, the title of the item, and the page range. And then we can digitize that, scan that in, and make it available through Blackboard. If you don't currently have an item on print reserve, so print reserve is actually physical books that we have a print reserve collection in the library of textbooks and other required books for courses, and then students typically will come in and they'll check out a print reserve book, and they can use it for about between 2 and 4 hours, but only within the library. They can't take it out, take it home, but that allows students to make copies or study directly from them for a few hours. But that's not going to work in the current situation, so that's why we're trying to make some of those items that are on print reserve available electronically to students so that they're able to access them remotely. So if you don't currently have a book on print reserve, but you would like to make use of the electronic reserves, then you can also submit new electronic reserve requests. This is the library's homepage again, and under the Services tab, and then under Course Reserve that I've highlighted by the green box, there's a link to electronic reserves for faculty. There's a form there that you can fill out and submit so that you can place get an item available to your students electronically through electronic reserves. It's important to note for this, though, that we can only put items on electronic reserve that the library currently owns or that the instructor owns and is able to drop off at the library pretty quickly. Interlibrary loan of physical items is suspended at the moment, so we can really only accommodate requests that if we own a particular title, or the instructor can provide that title, or even if the instructor wants to scan it in at home and then send us a PDF, then we can also make it available that way as well. So the most important thing is really making sure that you contact your subject specialist if you have any questions or you want assistance in finding materials for your courses through the library or through other resources that we may know about. If you don't know who your subject specialist is, then you can go to the library's website under Help. There's a link there for Find a Subject Specialist, which lists all of the subjects and then the librarian that is assigned to that subject. But they're really going to be the point of contact to help you sort of identify materials, think through how to, if you want to create a page in the subject guide for your subject area, you can do that, or maybe just link it from your Blackboard course. We could certainly do that. So we can help you sort of think through all of those things. So moving on to support for students. So if you are requiring students to do a research project or a research assignment and you want them to get some instruction on how to use the library's resources or find information and do research, then we do have resources available for that. The main resource that we have are several online tutorials that we've created. Again, those are available from the library's website under Help. That's the last link under Help is to tutorials. And the basic tutorials are the main ones that are going to be the most useful. They're all uploaded on YouTube. They're all short, relatively so, at least under 5 minutes. So usually like 1 to 3 minutes, I think, is the average. They can be embedded into your Blackboard course. And we have tutorials on from anywhere from trying to develop a search strategy to how to search the databases, how to access full text of articles, how to request articles through interlibrary loan. So those are really, really useful. We also have a more formalized online library orientation that's available as a module in Blackboard that can be copied over into your course shell. And this is essentially comprised of 4 folders on different topics. So they cover types of information, developing a search strategy, finding books, and finding articles. And so each of the modules include a brief introduction and then 1 or 2 tutorials or some brief text to read. And then at the end, once students have gone through all 4 modules or folders, then there is a link to a library orientation quiz that covers that content. It's very short, just 10 questions. But if students score at least a 6 out of 10 on that quiz, then they do receive a library achievement that you can see in Blackboard. So you could see, which students have earned that achievement. So this is also currently available, and if it's something that you're interested in, you can contact me directly, and I can give you access to our Blackboard shell and then send you step-by-step instructions for how to copy that over. These are just some other options for library instruction or individual research consultations that we do with students. And again, the most important thing is to contact your subject specialist to talk about what some of the options might be for your courses. We certainly all could create PowerPoints, and we have handouts. Again, we could develop LibGuides or just specific pages in LibGuides. We all have access to Microsoft Teams and Blackboard Collaborate. Now these are new for all of us, so it would really be important to just talk to your librarian to see what their comfort level is with some of these more these other technologies, but what they're able to do for you, or maybe they are willing to learn. I haven't actually done anything in Microsoft Teams yet, but I'm happy to learn. So if anyone would be interested in figuring out library instruction using library or Microsoft Teams or doing research consultations, I'm happy to figure out how we're going to do that. We also have all of our reference services now moved virtual. So we have a chat service available through the library's homepage. So this is sort of on the bottom half of the library's homepage, our Ask-a-Librarian chat box. So all of the librarians are still monitoring chat while we're not physically at the reference desk. There's also a text service associated with that. So there's a number listed right under Ask-a-Librarian so that students and faculty can send us text messages. There are also, we also have an Ask-a-Librarian email form, and that is located under the Help tab again on the library's homepage. You can click on the Ask-a-Librarian link and then send questions, and then we'll respond to those as well. And now I just wanted to move on to just some of the library service updates and about our physical building as well, just to let everybody know what's going on. We have limited access to Founders Memorial Library. So currently we're only open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we're only open to our NIU community, so faculty, students, and staff, and you must have an ID to enter the building. The Music Library and Faraday Library are closed through April 5th. And we're only open to specific services, which I'll get to on the next page. So as I mentioned before, all general reference services have moved to a virtual format. And then our distinctive collections that we have, Regional History Center, Rare Special Collections, Southeast Asian Collections, and government publications, all of those reference services are also available online or by phone. Our building is only open for a few services, so our stacks are now closed, which means that you can't just come into the library and go fetch a book on your own. We've moved to paging books, so what you can do is through the NIU catalog, if you're searching our catalog, you can request an item just like you would if it was from another school, but it would be from our library, and then we would go ahead and fulfill that request. We'd get the book for you on our shelves, and then you would pick it up at the circulation desk. So if you're picking up an item, you can come into the library. We've also made available more laptops than we previously had. So we have about 70 that are available for checkout. We've also increased the loan period for the laptops from 24 hours to 48 hours. And those are available at the circulation desk as well. So you can also check out and return laptops at the library. To return items, unless you're picking up a book or a laptop, then we're asking everybody to return their items in our book drops. We have book drops located on either side of the Founders Memorial Library's main entrance, and we also have a book drop on Normal Road, on the west side of Normal Road by the library. And then in the event of a complete campus closure, all materials will, of course, be backdated for when the library reopens. And then just so that you know, if you do have items out, you can renew all of your NIU and iShare items through your catalog or ViewFind account. So you can do that all online. If for some reason you're unable to renew an iShare item online, then you can contact the lending library directly, and then they can renew it for you over the phone. And it should be noted on the item that you have which library it came from. For all NIU ILLiad renewal inquiries, you can call the office, the IDS office, but just note that if the campus closes, that office will be closed too, but everything will be, again, backdated. So that's what I've got planned for today. So if you have any questions, that's the link to the Continuity of Library Services and Resources. Tracy also posted that in the chat box. This is really the best place to be aware of new resources that might be available and updates to any library services. That's where we're sort of centralized of the information that we're getting on that LibGuide. And it also is available from the library's homepage. There's a link from the library's homepage. And now if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome, Julie. I just want to chime in and feel free to put your questions into the text chat area if you do have them. But just to give you an idea of some of the other resources that are out there, I put a link to our Keep Teaching at niu.edu page, specifically to the help page. And so we've been shifting our support model a little bit to adapt to the current situations. So what we have now is a faculty support hotline. That number is 815-797-2477. You can call or text, and that message will go to our staff here, and the first available person will be able to help you out. You can also email keepteaching@niu.edu if you prefer an email over a phone call or text. The help page also gives you information to schedule and register for another workshop that you may have an interest in. And finally, scheduling one-on-one consultations with our staff. We have moved to completely online virtual or phone call consultations, just due to the evolving nature of what's going on in our world today. So, but again, all of our staff are available right now from 7:30 to 5:30. And again, that's what we are looking at right now, but we're looking to possibly extend that a little bit longer if we can keep our staff going with this. So check out those resources. And remember, we're here for you, and we can, the library can certainly help you in so many ways that Larissa just described, but we're also available to help you with any of your remote teaching needs.
Contact your subject specialist.
That's the best advice.
The most important
totally.
takeaway. The most important takeaway is to contact your subject specialist. Yeah.
Yeah.